Welcome to the HR Happy Hour Work Break. You are here with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you very much. It's a Friday, which is exciting.
It is a Friday.
It's also a special Friday, Trish. It's because it's Jobs Friday, of course.
It's Jobs Friday.
It's the first Friday of the month. So I'll give you the headline numbers, Trish, because I feel like you may miss this.
Lay it on us.
May 2021, the U.S. labor market added 559,000 net new jobs. That's a good result, a little bit lower than most economists' expectations, which were looking for a couple 100,000 more. The unemployment rate, Trish, ticked down to 5.8% in the United States, which is a pandemic era low. As you recall, and I'm sure you do, unemployment prior to the pandemic was 3.5% in the United States.
I know.
That's about as low as it had been in 50 years. So we're edging closer and closer to that number. But the negative on this report, Trish, labor force participation rate's not changing. It's 61.6%. It's been really flat for months and months now. That's down almost 2% from where it was prior to the pandemic. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but 2% of the labor force is 3.5 million workers, at least, maybe a few more. So still a lot of people out of the labor market. The actual total labor market, or the total market itself, actually decreased in the month by about 50,000 people. There's lots of reasons for that, but so a mixed report, generally more good than bad. More people getting back into work, and good news on wages as well. And we've talked about this some. A lot of wage pressure, right? Because lots of employers having a hard time hiring all across the board. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence as well as some empirical evidence about how difficult it is to hire right now. And so wages are ticking up, especially in some of the service sector jobs and the retail jobs, et cetera. And that's a good thing too. So that's the quick labor market update for May.
I had a feeling that you were going to be really happy today, just because it is your job market today.
So. I know it's at 8:30. I make sure I'm up. I've got the TV on. I've got the coffee going. Yeah, I know it's super dorky, but I don't care.
No, but you know what? I think it's important to have things to look forward to, even work related, right? So I think it's nice. I think, and I'll tell you what, it saves me from having to go look at it, because I never want to one up you and know more, because I want to be surprised by the data. So thank you for sharing. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. There's other news today, Trish. I have one other piece of interesting news for today. Do you know what today is as well, besides Jobs Friday?
I don't.
It is National Donut Day.
Are you serious?
I wouldn't joke.
I had donuts for breakfast.
Really? Nice. So what's your go-to donut? What's the fave?
Right now, I think it's changed over the years. Right now, it is a custard filled with the chocolate frosting.
Okay.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I didn't even know it was donut day.
It is. Yeah,
apparently for the kids today. So
I didn't research it thoroughly, but I think if you roll up to certain like Dunkin' or Krispy Kreme, maybe there's some deals going on, some specials for donut day.
I bet. Yeah. No, people should check that out for sure. Who doesn't love donuts, really? I don't think I've ever met anyone that doesn't love a good donut.
And one of the things that everybody loves, right, but almost no one makes it at home, right? Very few home donut making.
That's true. You know what? I can give a quick home donut recipe that my mom always made, and I've never made. She would take canned biscuits. I know this is more like the era right before us would do this. I don't know if you grew up on these, but you take canned biscuits and you cut them in half, each one in half, and you roll it in cinnamon and sugar or whatever you like.
Okay.
And then you heat up oil and fry them on both sides, and you can make your own donuts, or you can take something tiny and cut a hole out of the biscuit and make donut holes, and then the little tiny donuts.
Yeah, those are the best. What a breakthrough that was.
Easy.
What a breakthrough that was way back in the day when Dunkin', which I believe they maybe kind of came up with this idea, came up with the munchkins, right?
Love it.
Let's not waste the middle part that we're cutting out.
Right?
Oh man. Munchkins.
I love chocolate munchkins. Those are great.
Now I feel like I need to go get some donuts. I have not had any.
You should. I hadn't had them in a long time. I don't know why. Just today, it just resonated. So Hey, listen, so from donuts to, I want to make mention of one thing work-wise, again, that's really important, because it's coming up next week. Our friends at Paychecks are having a business event, and we're not calling it an HR event. This is specifically for all business people. So everybody who's listening, watching, this is for you. It's called Thrive. It is June 10th and 11th. And what's exciting to me about it is they're doing 2 days. The first day is more like the futurists, the really big name speakers. And I noticed we're not on the list, but that's okay. That's okay. Do you know who they have? They have Damon John from Shark Tank. I love him.
He's pretty awesome.
So smart. Anybody from Shark Tank, honestly, I could listen to all day. Cy Wakeman. And I haven't heard Cy speak in probably a number of years. She was big on the SHRM circuit, I know. Probably
great.
still
Yeah. I have not seen her a lot either, but had seen her 4 or 5 times probably speak in person. She's always pretty awesome.
Always awesome. And then Crystal Washington, who's an author and futurist. So
nice.
And they've got other speakers as well, but big lineup. Day 2 is all demos. So love a good demo. Right?
You know what I'd like to do? It made me think of something I think would be fun. I'd like to have like a dinner party someday, and on one side of the table, invite like 3 or 4 futurists, and put like 3 or 4 historians on the other side of the table, and just see if they like even can talk to each other, or will it just be dead silence the whole time? Like if you have,
what if we should do a show like that, even with 1 and 1, right?
You want to do 1 futurist, 1 historian, and have them like
I'd love it.
Battle
like,
that
fight it out. Yeah, let's duel it out.
That springs from early experiments I did, Trish, in an apartment I had, where I would put a dehumidifier on one end of the room and a humidifier on the other end, and have them battle it out.
You would not. Oh my goodness. No, I was thinking though. I mean, like, what do you think of futurists? I know we're not talking about her specifically, but I'm into people who claim to be futurists, and one like Perry Timms. Our friend of the show, Perry Timms, over from the UK, he is a futurist. Like, I swear that guy can predict anything, and way out there kind of stuff. I think, to an extent, if you're an analyst, you're probably, you're hopefully able to be a futurist a little bit ahead of things. But yeah, there are some people that can predict, 30, 40, 50 years out, which I'm always fascinated by. They've been through history like that. So
I would love to have that skill so I could like know who's going to win like the Super Bowl next year. Like, and I can get an early
that would be great.
That'd be pretty cool. Trish, I have one more piece of data today, just something I read, and I want to make sure I share it with the audience.
Sure. Yeah. What do you got?
Trish, the U.S. birth rate in the United States, Trish, what would you say happened to the birth rate in 2020, our year of pandemic and other? What do you think happened with the births in the United States? New people being born.
Well, I don't think it would have changed, because if you had a baby in 2020, well, I guess it depends on when, right? Like most babies born in 2020 would have been conceived in the year before.
A little bit of a lead time.
Okay. So I think it would be more like what's going to happen this year. I think that the birth rate's going to go up in 2021.
Yeah, most folks who follow this, Trish, say you're wrong, probably. 3
People were at home. What else you got to do? You're going to work from home. You're going to
3.6 million births estimated in the United States in 2020. 3.6 million. Trish, that is the lowest number of births since 1979. That's like a while back. Down
I just have to disagree with them. Those are people that got pregnant before. They
down
were doing
4% from 2019. And sort of the rate where they say 55, there's 55.8 births per 1,000 women. It's the lowest ever since smart people started tracking this. Trish, we are under, as well as some other countries in the world too, we are under the natural replacement rate for population. So it's quite possible population will actually start going down unless the birth rate goes up, or we start welcoming many more people into the country through immigration, which is another whole story as well. Speaking of that, unrelated, I wanted to mention this the other day, China, right, which we've been to many times. I'm wearing my Great Wall of China t-shirt.
I love it.
Trish, they had the one-child policy for a long, long time, right?
They did.
Try to manage population growth. It did. They raised it to 2. They allowed 2 a couple years ago, and birth rate actually went down. went down when they raised it to 2. Now they've just raised it to 3. So you're permitted in China to have 3 kids, according to the government. It's probably still not going to work. The replacement rate in China is also below. The birth rate in China is also below replacement level as well. So it's going to be like a macro trend. Like when we talk about things like cybersecurity, climate change as being global challenges, I'd add declining populations in kind of advanced countries as another sort of macro challenge globally over the next 20, 30, 40 years. It's super interesting. I don't know why. I found it fascinating. I wanted to share that today.
No, I agree with you, but I disagree with whoever you got the facts from on this year, though, because I do think I'm just being serious. Like, it's a 9-month process. So most of the babies,
data. I'm just reporting the data, Trish.
I know. So most of the people that will have gotten pregnant in 2020 are just now having babies in 21. So we'll see. I want to see what the birth rates are in 2021 because I think that's really going to be the difference. I think we're going to see a slight tick up, not huge, but yeah, I think it's going to go up.
Lagging indicator. So last thing, Trish, look out for new HR happy hour show. I'm going to try to get it ready to run Monday, Trish. We recorded it yesterday with 2 athlete leaders from the Special Olympics, one in the UK and one in Australia. Super interesting conversation about them, their lives, about inclusivity, accessibility, some of the things that they would love employers and HR leaders to know. And some just things that HR leaders and employers can do to be more accessible and be more inclusive in how they sort of embrace people who maybe have some intellectual disability challenges. So look for that on Monday.
They were great. Very good. Well, hey, listen, everyone, please, again, go check out the Paychex, gopaychex.com/thrive. Attend that next week. It's going to be great. For Steve and me, we hope you have a wonderful weekend. Right? I'm going to go on a float trip. What about you?
Anything fun? A lot of barbecuing, probably. Yeah.
There you go. We'll expect a full report on Monday. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening. Please follow us and subscribe to the HR Happy Hour podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere else. And we will see you back here next week.